Howdy world. I'm just leaving Walmart, that wonderful place that we all shop often. Uh, just need little something small or need the big things. It's got a little something for everybody. But I was actually trying to find a way to video this while I'm driving without having to be holding it um, and none of those things that have ever fit in the vent things for holding my phone have ever worked. So we're trying this out and we'll see how it goes. Because slow and steady wins the race, right? So we're gonna just talk today about that idea. It's one of the ones I'm trying to apply to my life more. You have those light bulb moments every once in a while that just make you realize what you have been doing and maybe the ways that you've been failing to live the life that you want to. And some of that for me comes with comparison. It's one of my favorite things to do, I guess. And I just had a big birthday. I am now 50. Woohoo! So as I told my kids, I am semi-antique. I don't quite make it to antique status. I don't think that I will ever make it to antique status. I used to have a business that I did where we dealt with antiques and worked with designers and architects in homes, and a lot of antiques were sold, but that doesn't kick in until 100 years. So I'm not sure that I'll ever make it to antique status, but I have made it to semi-antique, which is 50. So it is giving me pause to think about what I have done well so far in my life, what I would like to do better in this second part of my life. So part of that is realizing that I do a lot of comparisons, that I'm constantly measuring myself up against things. When I hear about other people's accomplishments, I think, oh crud, I haven't done that yet. That kind of thing. I haven't achieved that, and they might be younger than me. And it's not that I don't want them to have that thing. I am absolutely overjoyed at people, and I hope that always comes through. It's more a beat down on me to say, I haven't. What do you got to show for your life? And you know what? I have a lot to show for my life. I have 3 wonderful children. I have a marriage to a man that I love. We are about to celebrate our 25th anniversary. I live in an absolutely gorgeous part of the country. I get to have nature in my front yard and my backyard and my side yard all around me almost all the time. We get baby foxes, and fawns are starting to show up, so we're getting all the sweet babies that are around, and that's a huge thing for me, to have trees and nature. And it was one of the things that I really desperately needed those times when we've had to live in the city. And so being able to be out here is a huge accomplishment. We are close enough to bigger cities and then really big metropolises that we can get to everything that we want to in a reasonable amount of time. Just like today, I was able to take our daughter over to a conference that's going on in the big city and be able to drop her off. And we left this morning at about 10:30, 11, and I'm able to go do that, spend some time with her there, and be able to make it home still by 6:30 or so at night. And that included some bathroom stops and running a couple errands like this to see if I could find some kind of thing that would work to record while I'm in the car. Since I seem to be in the car a lot, I hope to take you on some walks with me too, because that's one of the things that I try to get in there. I'm not always good at it, and this is where the part comes about looking at our life not in those sprint moments, but in the slow and steady way of just putting one foot in front of the other. And if you had a day or an hour where you made a poor choice, you don't have to count that as a loss. You can get back in the saddle and try again and just make a better choice the next time it comes up. So so what if you had that candy bar this morning and you totally messed up? It's not the end of the world. Don't go eat all the rest of the candy bars that you have in your house. Just realize, okay, I didn't make the choice that I wanted to this morning, and the next time the choice comes up, I'll try and remember what I'm choosing for my health, for my, my diet, my just peace of mind for some of us. If you have any kind of health issues, sometimes those little slip-ups can be kind of big for you. You have to pay for them for a long time. And as we get older, some of those things start happening more and more. That, what used to not be a major deal for me to slip up on something now requires more repair time for it. And so I'm learning to be more judicious in my choices. So anyway, but don't throw out the baby with the bathwater when it comes to things like that. Just realize you don't have to sprint to the finish. If you want to lose 100 pounds, it's not going to happen overnight. If you want to change your life, it's not going to happen in a month's time. All of these things require a slow and steady pace, and just choosing the right thing every time. And when you don't, just realizing it as quickly as you can and getting back on the right road. So that is what I am trying to focus on for myself. My daughter and I have had some conversations over the last little bit, because I've heard from one of our friends that I absolutely love, not a close friend, just somebody that we know. So I count him as a friend, because I feel like I know him so well through his podcasts and YouTube stuff, and just the other connections that we have around him, but not directly to him. But he was talking about, all the books that he has and these other things going on, and he's just turned a few years younger than me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't have any of those things. And she said, why do you do that? Why do you compare that? And I said, I think it really is not comparing to him as in like us being equals. I feel like he has achieved a place of being able to reach or impact people that I would like to have had in my life by the time that I got here. But because of our whole life, my growing up and this, we just weren't in places for very long at a time. And so it didn't allow for a lot of long-term relationships or long times of reaching out. So it's all been very, very short things. Like I can only think about something in a few months or a year's time, and I haven't really been able to say, okay, this is where we're from, this is where we're going to be for a long time. So how do I start putting that network together of friends and places to help out, charities to give my time to, all those kind of things, and mentally more than physically, because we've been in this location for 10 years, but it still always kind of felt temporary. And so I didn't know how do I start plugging into this well. And I had small kids. I had a baby when I first got out here, and so time isn't the same for you when you have a baby. It just isn't. You don't have a lot to give, especially if you don't have good sleepers, which I did not. My 3 kiddos were very good sleepers, so that doesn't lead to a lot of extra bandwidth for doing things for other people. You're just trying to get by, and so in my mind too, just when you've been raised in a constantly moving mentality, it's been something that I'm going to have to work on. I need to challenge those ideas that I've had for my life about what it means to decide that I am in a place, this is where I am, and how do I really plug into this community, into this place? How do I find those people? How do I find friendships and longer term just opportunities to really either give to them or to receive, because I'm good about going in and helping out and doing all the quick things. I love being there to help people and to, especially in like rescue situations, where they need some desperate help. Oh, that feels so good, right? To go in there and jump in and be able to help pull something out that wasn't going to come off without your help. There's like a high that you get from that. And that works a lot more when you don't have dedicated times that you work on something or work with something. So now, trying to figure out, okay, this is where we are. This is where I'm going to be. How do I start finding places and ways that I can give back to this community so that I can be pouring in on a consistent basis, and then also being able to receive from people on a consistent basis, because we need both. And I think that's the hard part for me. I like to give. I don't like to ask for help. I don't want to. That I don't want to receive. Maybe it feels like a weakness to me, and that's something that I've talked about with my daughter too. Don't model that after me. She says, you hold things together well, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't do well, and one of those is that I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to ever seem needy, but we need each other. We do need each other, and we need to be needed. So how do I find those places in a slow and steady way? And so I think that's the mindset that I'm going to have to adopt for this next part of my life, is not being all gung-ho about it. Not being like, I'm going to jump in with both feet, because that's where I find that I have gotten burned a lot in the past, is when I jump in with both feet and then it doesn't go according to the plan that I had in my mind, or the ideas of what I thought it was supposed to be. And go out of the road, little dove. Okay. And then I get disillusioned and just kind of want to quit it all. So how do I find ways to plug in a little bit at a time so that I can then be able to have the time to recharge for the next time to give in? And that's one of the things I have to credit my daughter with, is she has taught me so much about her need to recharge, and I've been able to see how much better she does when she has that time, and then allow myself to have that time, because I wasn't ever allowed to have that. I didn't allow myself, my schedule, all the way from high school through most of my married life and younger children. I was, slam packed from morning till night. There wasn't a lot of bandwidth to just say, you know what, I need to have some time. I need to have some time to recharge. I don't need to go do the next thing right now. Because I always felt like I was behind the 8 ball, and that if I didn't take care of these things, that I was going to fail. And I was going to fail. They were going to fail without me. I wouldn't be being a good person, a good woman, good mom, good wife, whatever the noun was that I wanted to put there. And so I'm having to learn to, who is Carolyn? Who am I? What things do I really need? Like, what makes me operate at a higher level? Not necessarily at the most productive, but how do I operate at the highest level so that I can be the best that I can be for the things that I choose go on my for certain list? Does that make sense? Wow, there was a whole lot of things in there. So anyway, that's the journey. That's the journey right now. So if you guys are feeling it, if you're feeling that lack of connection, if you're feeling that lack of consistency in your life, and trying to figure out how to walk it out kind of one day, 1 minute, 1 hour at a time, then I hope you join me on this. Hopefully we can have some fun aha moments together. I don't get it all right. I haven't gotten it all right one single day or month or year in my life. But here goes somebody passing me. I'm going too slow since I am talking to you. But that's okay. That's what good country roads are for, with passing lanes. But anyway, I hope that we'll be able to have some fun and learn some things together and uplift each other, and be able to find that, those of us who are, I've always called myself medium. It's just medium. I'm not an overly great person on anything. I'm not bad at things. I am, average, medium, whatever you want to call it. And for a long time that seemed like, I don't really a star at something. But we're not meant. I don't think most of us are meant to be. And the ones that are, usually, and I hope this doesn't sound in a comparison, Bob, but most of those that I have come across that are a star in something really don't do well at the rest of their life. So, if they're really a great actor, then they have a horrible, messed up, love life, and their children don't know who they are. And I'm not saying this across the board. I don't know that we are made to be great at everything. And so, if that's true, then aiming for a good, average, medium, happy to be here kind of life is a great goal. And I don't think I had ever heard that before. So maybe that will be something that is helpful for some of you to hear. Aim for that wonderful, good, middle ground, slow and steady life, just like the tortoise. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.